And why did he?
For one song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, Lior.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So it's like this is cool. It's like the Brady Bunch here.
Wow, this new Zoom is really cool.
Isn't it? It works really well, and what we've been playing with it, in the Hangout, which is now the Zoom in, for a while, and you don't lose quality as you have more people streaming video, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, my sister is actually, she's a yoga teacher, and she does online yoga. And I know she uses Zoom, and she has, clients from Israel, from Italy, from California, and she's here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I participated in one of her classes, but it wasn't as crisp as this is. I guess they did some nice upgrades.
Yeah, the video's much better.
Yeah,
Okay.
and their support was great because I didn't know, how to handle like I was saying, having when I have back-to-back meetings and I want to alternate meeting IDs, I didn't know about how when you schedule them and check off recurring meeting, it creates new meeting IDs every time you do that for each meeting. And then and the other thing is, I thought I lost the recording, which I then learned that I didn't lose because in one of my meetings, my computer hung up and it rebooted, and I thought I lost the recording, but it's still in there. You just have to go into the recorded meetings and tell it to convert it, and then it will create the MP4 file. It just doesn't do it automatically if you crash like that. Huh. So that's that was nice because I was able to go back to a client whom I had told, I'm really sorry we lost the recording, and then go back and say, hey, good news, I found the recording. So that was pretty cool, and I love this. I mean, I've been using Adobe Connect for years to do remote sessions and record them for clients, and it costs a small fortune. It's $1,500 a year for a 3-user license, plus I pay the phone bill for each meeting. I pay for my call and each incoming caller, and it's like 10 cents a minute or whatever. So I get that bill, which is like $300 to $400 a month. This is like $150 a year, done.
Wow,
So,
and it's unlimited?
It seems so, yeah. I mean, of course, you can upgrade. Like, I have a pro account. That's the $150 a year. There's more stuff you can get it to do if you have a more sophisticated account. So they definitely let you sell. They're not shy to take your money. But for the $150 a year, it seems to do everything I need it to do.
Can you record the videos on the free version?
I think so, but I'm not. Yeah,
I know some do 40 minutes, but other than that, I didn't know if there was any other restrictions.
Yeah, no, you can still record them, but yeah, you are limited. I don't even think it's 40 minutes. I think it's 10 minutes, Dennis.
Oh, okay.
I think it's 40.
Yeah.
Is it 40?
I think so.
40.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we were discussing that, I think, one time in Gina's Hangout. We were discussing that.
Got it. So yeah, I'm so pleased with this product. It's going to save me a fortune. Now, my only problem is Adobe Connect. I have years and years of recordings. I promise clients that they'll always be there. The reality is I think they get sort of irrelevant after about 6 months because whatever I was teaching somebody how to do 6 months ago, they've already probably moved on way past that. So, and the only way to make a local version of the recordings is to replay it in real time. So
That's my favorite sound. I just want to let you guys know.
the doorbell, I love it.
I can't. It's hurting my soul. It's killing me.
Lower.
It's chipping away at my soul every time I hear it.
Can I go into my settings and turn it off? I'm sure I can.
I'll give you money if you do that.
I'm sure I can. I just never tried to because I like it.
I like it.
Oh.
I like the doorbell. I'm like, it gets me excited. I'm like, oh, cool, somebody else is coming in. You know what? I start salivating every time I hear the doorbell.
You know what?
Thanks for coming to the party.
Like, that's your gig. That's cool. I like that you start salivating.
Is there any way to make this chat box a little more narrow so you can push it to the side?
My chat box is in a separate window.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Is there a way to squeeze
Yeah, you
it?
can click on the edges and resize it.
That's what she said.
No.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, Larry. I
We're already
couldn't
going
not
there.
swing at that pitch. I'm sorry.
And you can make it narrower.
You're making me miss The Office.
I know, right? We just rewatched all of Parks and Rec, and we watched it with my 13-year-old daughter. It's
We finished it 2 months ago. Awesome.
Stacy, I just finished watching that this weekend again.
Watching
it's
what?
so- Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
And we're watching it with Kira, and oh my God, it's a whole different ballgame when you watch it with a 13-year-old girl. It's so it's so much more better. It's betterer to watch it.
Better.
Yeah.
More betterer.
It's more betterer, as Seth and I say often. More betterer.
So I figured out how to turn off the chime. When I pop out the participants window, the more option has an option that says, you check or uncheck, play or enter, exit, chime. Play, enter, or
I love that.
chime. And I can lock the meeting. That's the other thing I found out that was cool, because I've had that happen where people obviously had bookmarked the link to my meetings, and I'm in the middle of a session, and somebody's sharing like their profit and loss statement. Somebody just comes in, and I'm like, hello? Don't mind me. So I love this software. So we'll get started in a minute. I assume everybody here knows who Lior is. You've all...
So,
No? Dennis, Lior is the man behind Cogniview and PDF2XL.
Oh, okay.
So you've seen the course that I put up on, that website
Mhm.
that I used to work for?
Remain nameless.
Schoolofbookkeeping.com. And it's available to the public. So, but you've been a long time member of SOB anyway. So yeah, the course is on there, and in a few minutes we'll get started. We'll have we'll ask Lior a few questions. We'll grill him with some tough interview questions, and then we'll get
ask me
into
about the Israeli-Palestinian.
conflict. And he's going to do it in Hebrew.
Look at everybody just like, and then it just quiets down.
So everybody just wanted to like
Maybe not.
steam
Let's
him.
back.
It sounds like
out of that
frozen,
room.
Is it me or is everybody frozen?
Yeah, you're frozen. You're like still drinking your coffee. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All right, so that was weird.
So we start in the car?
That's strange. Where'd it go?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was weird. It's almost like I lost my internet and then it crashed and now it won't let me turn my vid. Great, we're back to the same problems I had with Google.
Spoke too soon.
Maybe it's not a software problem.
No,
Yeah,
here we
it
go.
might be user it might be user error. I don't know.
Yeah,
Are you on Wi-Fi?
We're all here waiting for you.
no, I have Wi-Fi, but I'm like 2 feet away from the router.
If you can connect with cable, connect with cable.
Yeah, all right, I'll have to
Yeah,
do that.
it's not about is it close or far. Just the packets are gonna get lost on Wi-Fi.
Gotcha. This is why I need to hire Lior. So what I was saying before I got cut off is that I'm going to have Lior do the demonstration in Hebrew. That'll really keep you challenged to follow along. Oh, there we go. Maybe user error. So real quick, since I was talking about it, I want to show you something really cool. Really, really cool. So because we were talking about it in the Between Wall and Main group, I've started to outline a course on Trello. And in the course of my research, I found something really interesting. Let me go into my notes here before I share my screen. And forgive me, now I'm choking. If I stop breathing, call 911.
Stacy, add that to your list.
You know what? I'm keeping my mouth shut because like the last 3 things that he said, I'm like, that's what she said. And the last 3 things, I'm just gonna zip it.
You just have to hold up a little Post-it that says, that's what she said.
I know, right?
Raise your hand. Raise your hand in the meeting here.
Raise your hand. How do you do that?
Underneath the participants, you can click raise your hand, like when
Oh,
somebody
look
has
at
a
that.
question.
That's very cute.
Stacy, Stacy can raise her hand and say that's what she said.
I could.
We need like a "that's what she said" meme.
Oh, there's a billion of them.
I was gonna say there's got to be.
Where's Richard?
Was he supposed to join us this morning?
I don't know. I'm surprised that he's not.
All right, I'm going to share my screen real quick, and then we're going to let Lior take over. But I want to show you something. All right, can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so here.
Oh, that is
What?
nothing. It's just...
So this is an employee manual sample board, which I think is such a cool use case for Trello. So this is what I was talking about. The first list is your first day. Then they have a thing about benefits, vacation, holidays, and time off, travel and conference, dollars, other travel, Trello HQ. And I was reading this. So this is obviously Trello's own human resources board. And I love this. They have a whole thing that they write up here on this card about how they bring in lunch every day for their staff, and they really encourage their staff to have lunch together, even if people want to bring their own lunch, but just they think it's important for the sort of culture and environment that people sort of break bread together while they're working together. They don't have to talk about work, but I was reading this. I was like, that's really cool in terms of, corporate culture. We kind of, I think, read and hear more and more about that kind of stuff, in terms of how companies are doing that. So this is annoying. The thing with the images only shows a couple at a time while I'm sharing my screen. But anyway, so I wanted to show you that because I thought that was really cool. And then what I'm doing now is I'm laying out a sample board for how I might start to think about using Trello if I wanted to use it to manage a whole bookkeeping engagement. So that's what I'm building out. And then once that's done, I'll probably just basically make a copy of it and swap it out and then just replace the context from bookkeeping to tax and kind of see what that might look like. And then I'm toying with the idea. Stacy and I are throwing around a lot of ideas these days as far as things we want to do with Between Wall and Main.
All of it. We want to do all of it.
We just want to do it all. But the question is, do we want to do subscription or do we want to do like a pay-per-download kind of thing on courses? So we've been throwing ideas around and deciding what we want to do and how we want to do it. Gina's with us. So anyway, with that, and it's perfect timing because Lior is now right in the middle of the grid, at least on my screen. I assume it renders the same for all of us?
No,
No?
he's on my left.
Oh, so it's different. Oh, well, on the recording, he's going to be in the middle because I assume the recording is consistent with my view. In any event, Lior, as I mentioned, is the man behind Cogniview and PDF2XL.
Almost in Huntington.
Somebody's got background noise.
It
It might be you, Gina. Yeah. So you've seen the course, I hope, that I did on PDF2XL. I also did a video because where I've actually started to use it a lot in my own case is when I'm entering bills in bill.com and people send me, their PDFs of their invoices. I now have memorized layouts based on a person's invoice so that in 30 seconds, in bill.com, I click that open option so I can quickly grab that PDF. It goes into my downloads folder. I'm not going to save it. I'm going to delete it once I'm done, but I just need it for a second. So in 2 seconds, because I've saved the layout, so if Suchi sends me an invoice, in 2 seconds, I can open up her invoice in my downloads folder and then load the layout and click convert. It's that quick once I've got it set up. And now I've got it in Excel so I can copy and paste her descriptions back into the bill that I'm entering in bill.com. And it's much easier than trying to click and drag and copy directly off the PDF or on the screen. So it's saved me a ton of time just for that use case alone, not to mention all the other use cases that are out there. So with that, I'm going to shut up and let Lior take over because I'm pretty sure that there have been some new features added and other developments that Lior wants to share with us as far as what's going on in the world of Cogniview and PDF2XL. So Lior, why don't you start by telling us a little bit, give us some background on who you are, how you got to be where you are today, and what made you do PDF2XL and what you were doing before that, what you're going to do after that, give me everything.
Sure. I was born in a small town. So my background is in building and growing digital companies. I started as an online marketer many years ago, as an affiliate marketer. I was a super affiliate in 4 different verticals. And these are, super affiliates are considered affiliates that drive more than $1 million revenue per year for the business that they're working with. Got into developing automatic trading algorithms for NASDAQ and ICE securities for a couple of years, which was awesome. And then 2008 came, and the CEO of that company very smartly decided that he doesn't want to do any trading until things clear. Went into developing technology startups. I've built 3 companies since. I've sold 2 of them. Last one was just last year, called Epoxy, which is now called Teradata Mobile. So Teradata, which is a very large marketing automation company, bought it. And at the time we sold, we had about 400 million devices we were managing on a monthly basis, sending out 3-4 billion messages a month. And I moved to the U.S. from Israel about 4 years ago with my wife, and got into this opportunity called Cogniview. So Cogniview has been around since 2000. Well, the company has been around since 2002. The product, PDF2XL, since 2005. And I used to know the owners. Well, I still know the previous owners. And they told me that they're thinking about selling the company because they got tired of working on it for so many years. So I decided to step in, and I acquired the company in order to grow it. For many years, the company has just had this passive, people searching for PDF2XL, whatever, online, and they've never done things like this, like demos and proactive reach outs and affiliate relationships and referral programs and certifications and all the stuff that we're working on right now. So I became the owner of Cogniview last year, and we are now, since we've started redeveloping the software, improving it, improving our offerings, building relationships, and trying to figure out where can we create the most amount of value. So as part of that, we engaged, Seth, so he can help us navigate through how can this be valuable for accountants. We do have accountants and bookkeepers. We do have probably over 4,000 accountants and bookkeepers clients, customers. But I never knew, what are they actually doing with the software? I mean, the number one things that, we ask people is, so what do you do with it, right? And they tell us, I convert PDF files to Excel, which is, obvious. That's the only thing we do. So naturally, you're probably converting PDF files to Excel. But what we're really trying to understand is, okay, what is that PDF? Is it a bank statement? Is it a price list? Is it an inventory list? Is it a medical form, a tax roll, an invoice detail? What is it? So that's really the journey that we're on right now. The team has expanded tremendously in the past 6 months. We've added about 4 full-time employees. We just added another full-time support person, which is fluent in Spanish, Portuguese, and English, because we're pretty big in South America. So, and in that, we also really developed the software. So some of the things I'm going to show today are brand new features. And we're trying to be unique in the market. We already have the best PDF2XL product in the market. I'm not just tooting my own horn. It's just a fact. It's not, the other products just don't do what we do.
No, I can vouch for that. I mean, in all honesty. And if you don't mind, let me jump in here, because I'll talk. One of my favorite things that PDF2XL does, and I don't think any other ones do, is when I'm creating that layout and I'm trying to define where one row starts and the next row ends, right? That option where I can tell it to start the new row above the text has been a lifesaver, because when I do that, and I've demonstrated that in the videos that I've done, that's where when I take somebody's invoice, sometimes it's not clear because you have a description that fills up a few lines and the price is at the top of that kind of row, right? And so it's not exactly clear where one starts and one begins, and I can say start the new row above the text, and boom, it figures out exactly how to do it. I love that feature. That feature alone, I think, makes PDF2XL better than anything else out there.
Yeah, we don't, the thing that people kind of fail to understand at first, because when people hear about PDF2XL, they think about it in a very simplistic way. Right? They don't really, and I'm going to change my camera here, but they don't really understand the complexity of what it means to convert data. You know, they're thinking like it's an academic research paper, and I just need it in, you know, in Excel or in Word or something, and it's just a very complicated thing to do, right? If it wasn't a complicated thing to do, companies would not charge money for it. So our biggest challenge right now, which we're hoping to start, you know, solving with events like this, is education. Is trying to help figure out, A, what you can do with the software, and B, when you do have this conversion task, what tools can even work? You know, in some cases, clients call me, and they have a very big problem. They have, you know, a $20,000, $30,000 problem, not a $200 problem. And I flat out tell them, this is not solvable. You know, forget PDF2XL for a second. What we can do as, you know, a software company, I'm telling you as a developer, your problem is not solvable with existing technology. It's just impossible. Because again, people just think, oh, it's a PDF file format and they need it in an Excel, you know, extension, right? It just doesn't work like that. And what we're hoping to do now is basically show you some use cases, show you how we're different, and not just how we're different, just in general what you can do with us. And that will hopefully make you understand better how the conversion world works. It's a pretty complicated world, and PDF2XL is kind of one snippet of it. And allow you to make better decisions and figure out new revenue streams for your business, because we do have a lot of clients that just use us for service revenues. You know, they buy the product once, pay a couple of $100 or whatever addition they choose, and they go on and create their own business out of it from just conversion services.
Right. So you're saying, just to clarify that, so, and because this is something I thought of after I did the course and I really learned how to use the product well, I thought, you know what, and I still haven't had a minute to follow up on this yet, but I thought I could create a vertical in my own Nerd Enterprises consulting business and say, I'm going to offer document conversion services, and try and attract companies that may have like a 500-page document where the layout is reasonably consistent, so that I can take what would take them hours and hours and hours to, let's say, rekey somehow and convert it in a few minutes, and then deliver that to them. And we talk about value pricing. So on something like that, I could charge them $500. There's tremendous value in that, even though it only took me a few minutes to complete. Maybe I'll do some formatting after I finish the conversion to add in a little extra value. But the reality is, you know, so we're no longer billing by the hour. We're providing tremendous value and charging for that. And so that's kind of what you're talking about when you talk about providing a service.
We have people charging, you know, cost per page. So they're coming in and telling people it's going to be 10 cents a page. You know, and then that person is thinking, oh my gosh, just retyping this is going to take me 20 minutes. You know, 10 cents is worth it. And we converted 500 pages a minute. So if the layout, even if it takes you, you know, a complicated layout, and that would be a very complicated layout, it would take you 45 minutes or 30 minutes, and that would be in the echelon of complexity. It's a one-time thing you do, and then you click a green button, and it converts it off. So, and by the way, because we're so confident about our product, we love to show you all of the competitors. And we know all of the competitors in extreme detail. We know everything they can do and everything they can't. And for different conversion tasks, many times we recommend other products. Like, we actually are affiliates with all of our competitors. It's not uncommon for somebody to send us an email about, you know, inquiring about something, and we're like, you know what, Able to Extract is going to be a better product for you for this specific conversion task. Here's a link. And we actually get commission on those sales. You know, the companies work together because we're so different from each other in the different use cases we can tackle. It makes sense to all of us work together. So they refer to us, we refer to them. And if somebody has, you know, very complicated conversion tasks that we can do, we have other products to recommend, which are naturally more expensive also. But any questions you have, you know, if you're like, Leoric, and, you know, I know that this product can do this, can you do it? Or what do you think of that? Just, you know, feel free to ask. We're not, nothing is a secret, nothing is insulting. are completely open, and that's how we build new features. So all the features that we have now in 6.5, which we just launched a couple of weeks ago, were built by features that customers wanted. They just flat out, send us an email to support, and we're like, oh, it would be great if we can do X. And that's how we develop our roadmap. We don't just make up things and say, oh, this could be good. We only develop them if customers actually want them. So on that note, I just installed the super latest edition, and this is the first time that I play with it also. So if something happens, I apologize in advance, but it should be pretty solid. And Seth, how do I share my screen?
So move your mouse over the window where all our lovely faces are, and you'll see an option at the bottom. You'll see a toolbar appear. You'll see share screen right in the middle.
Share screen. Gallery view. Share screen. There we go. Okay. Can you see the software?
We can. And for those of you watching, if the screen looks a little small, look at the top of your screen. You'll see where it says options, and then click that little drop down. You'll see fit to window. It'll be much, much bigger.
Okay. So this is PDF2XL Enterprise, which is our top end. It's a $400 product, which for Seth and Stacy's clients, we have a very nice standing discount. So after the webinar, we'll create a unique promo code for all of you if you ever want to use it, which hopefully you will. PDF2XL Enterprise is basically our most featured version in the sense that it allows you to process the most types of documents. So it's not just file types as far as PDF and JPEG and BMPs and TIFFs if it's faxes. It's also just different featurettes that allow you to do more things. For example, like batch conversion. So you can, if you do have layouts ready, like Seth had mentioned, you can just add multiple files and associate multiple layouts and convert it one after the other without just opening the file. So the way the software works, and I'm just going to show you some different types of documents so you can see kind of a basic run of our features, and then we can review and get some more specific ideas or questions if you have. So Seth actually had a good example right now. Yeah, this is a great file, and let me know if you're seeing this or not.
Yeah, it looks like we're just waiting for it to kind of render on your main screen.
Okay.
I see the thumbnails.
Okay. Now my internet is acting up a bit. Okay, let me know when you see it.
Yep, it's there. We got it.
So this is a great example. So, many people, when they first think about PDF2XL, they think about a simple table. So this is an almost simple table, but this illustrates kind of the first types of complexities we have to deal with as a professional PDF2XL converter, and not one of those online websites where you kind of upload a file and you expect an automatic conversion back. So this is 200 pages, pretty simple table. And the first thing I want you all to notice is this table doesn't have any lines, okay? It doesn't have any vertical lines. It doesn't have any horizontal dividers, okay? So we as humans, our brain can easily see this is a structured table, but a computer can't see that. A computer needs some help to understand that this is actually a table and not something else. So the way the software works in general, you create a mask, or what we call the layout. Creating that is very simple. So in this case, I'm just going to literally just click on the top end of the table and drag it all the way to the bottom, covering the entire table area. And you see that this is marked as orange. And then in the bottom, you can see a preview of how the data looks like. So the software does a best guess, right? It's trying to figure out, because it doesn't have any lines, what are the columns. So in this case, it did a pretty good job. Name, address 1, address 2, address 3, and city. But now we see that state, zip, and county, they think for whatever reason, software thought for whatever reason, it might be a single column. Now I can tell you from a development standpoint, the reason it did that, you see here at the bottom, the 89101, because this suddenly broke off the structure of the zip code, then it figured, oh, okay, so maybe this is just all one big chunk. So what we can do is very simple. We can just highlight a column, just click on the top of it, right click, and do split. And then we can just move it around. We can move around any column or row, just like you would in Microsoft Office. You can split, you can merge, make things taller, make things shorter. And one of the unique things we have is this preview area. So whatever you see here at the bottom, this is how it's going to come into Excel. Now, if you unclick the preview sizes, you also can kind of get rid of any formatting. So by default, if something has like a weight, like a bold font or something like that, we will now, with this new version, convert that as well. I like to work without the preview sizes because it's easier on the eyes for me. So you see this instant preview, and you'll notice that if I go to all the other pages right now, you'll already see in the thumbnails here on the left side that the layout was applied to all the pages. So if I just go to them, you'll see that the data in the preview changes because it captures the data on that page. Now, by default, if you look here at your Home tab or your Layout tab, we treat as all pages are same. But, and we'll see some examples of that, if you have a PDF file where you have multiple layouts, or maybe the first, in many cases, the first page of a file is like a heading, like a title, like, stuff that are not really data, then you can just say the first page is different, and then page number 1 is going to have one layout, and all the other pages are going to have other layouts. On the left side, if you see the thumbnails, we have this markers with letters like A. That means that this is using layout A. If I just do pages different or first pages different, you'll see that the first one is going to be A and all the others are going to be B. It means that they're using a different layout, basically. But for now, we'll use this example. So the next thing I want you guys to notice is each record here has different amounts of actual rows, of actual lines, right? So Abernathy Amy, she has 4 rows. Abu Simon Fred has 4 rows. Aiken Mark has 4 rows. Ackerson Sean has 1 or 3. Acosta Rudy has just 1. Now, if you just convert right now to Excel, without doing anything, so we just highlighted the table, we look at the preview, and we're like, okay, this is cool. Let's convert this just so we'll see how fast everything is. And you'll see here at the top, we have 35 rows, 1 table, and 10 columns. 222 pages. I'm just going to hit the convert button. Let me close my Excel here first. So see how it opens Excel. I'm going to hit my convert button. And you'll see how it's parsing through all the pages. Now it's going to write it and open Excel with everything. And that's it. Okay, this is how fast it generally is. Okay, so you open a PDF. You kind of mark your layout. You see we only wrote the titles, the columns once. We don't have it in all the other pages. And now we have a total of 7,742 rows, right, that you didn't have to retype or copy paste or be open to any kind of human error. But because of the way this table is structured, we're getting a lot of these blank lines, which is annoying. Now, whatever person decided to create this PDF, never considered that somebody might want to get it back to Excel, because usually PDF is a locked format, and that's why it exists. And he created a unique position where you're seeing how, in this case, the last name starts first, and then the city organization starts in the same line, which is kind of weird. It's not a regular. It's not a regular way to think about it. Most people just start, this is the beginning, and they go down to the bottom. So this is what's called kind of a top table view. But don't worry about all that terminology. What I would do is I would try to figure out a key column, and this is what Seth was talking about. So I'm going to try and figure out which column here I can relate to as when there's data on that column, it means it's a new record. Okay, because we're trying to get records, right? We're trying to basically get Abernathy Amy in one single line in Excel, one single record in Excel, and have City of Waleska, Oregon Cascades in a single cell. We don't want it across 4 different rows. So I'm going to look here, and I can see that the zip code is not good, the state is not good, because every time something starts there, I'm going to miss the city. Title is not good either. So I'm going to try and do the name. Yeah, I'm going to try and do the name. You know what? Name is not good. If you go to Adams Aaron, you see here that the name here is on one cell, but he actually starts at the city of Knoxville. He's starting here. So I actually need to use the community one as the key. So again, a key column is just basically a column that tells me when the software sees something there, it means a new record has loaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if that works. If not, we're going to choose another one. And I'm going to just right-click the column, go to Table Structure, and I'm going to tell it create rows above the column text. So every time there's a new piece of text, start the row above it. I guess below column text should be it. So let's see what that does. Oh, sorry. I meant above. Above. Okay. So we can see if that did anything that we want. No, it didn't merge the right ones. So let's find something else. Let's do the state. See what that does. Create rows above column text. Now let's see if that's good for us. Almost good for us, not exactly. Let's try the rows under. And this is something that once you, perfect. This is something that once you start using it, you'll see that you can kind of go through these options in seconds. You don't have to do it as slow as I am now because I'm verbalizing everything I'm doing. So now you'll notice in the preview that suddenly Abernathy Amy is just 2 lines and Abu Solomon Fred is 4. And in Excel, they're going to come as a single record.
And by the way, if I can interrupt real quick, I love how you can pop out that preview window in a separate window. That has been really helpful to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the way on the right there, right? Where you can pop it out into a separate window.
Any window here you can undock. Any window, like the pane, the preview, any window you can undock. And if you have multiple monitors, you can move it. Mm-hmm. For now, for the demo, I'm not going to do it because you're not going to see it. But
right.
It's really great. So now that we have variable record heights, and I see Adams Aaron, perfect. He's an interim city manager, and I can see here everything I mark in the PDF or in the preview, I see it on the other window. So it's very easy for me to kind of click here and figure out, oh, it's that cell. I click here and see it's this. And see Adams India, she's an ICMA local government manager from the county of Albemarle, I don't know how to pronounce that, from Tacoma, Washington, and I have a complete record in a single line Excel. So now when I convert, I'm going to do it again, you'll see how nice and tidy everything is. And of course, you see how fast it is, right? 222 pages. So, and now if I go down, we'll see how many true records we have. We see that it's actually 3,000, right? So earlier we had 7,700, which we would have had to clean up. We would have had to do some kind of a post-processing and figure out some kind of a logic to merge different cells or whatnot. And with that single feature, you don't have to do it. All the records are now clean and ready to be imported to a CRM system, an accounting system, maybe this was a client list, and so on. So this was kind of the first basic examples that I want you guys to see because it's a good intro. It's a table, but it's not as simple as you first think it is when you open it.
Share screen.
Does anybody have any questions so far?
I have a couple questions. Yeah. Do you do anything similar for like PDF to Word?
No, great question. So, okay, almost no. So specifically, we specialize in structured or tabular conversion. Okay. So you can definitely change the conversion format and change it to Word or PowerPoint or OpenOffice or CSV and so on. but it's going to be a Word table. Okay? So if you convert it to Word, it's going to come just like you saw it in Excel, but inside Word as a Word table.
Well, I had an experience where I tried to convert a PDF to a Word document using one of those online conversions.
Right.
And when I got it back, it looked like Word, but I couldn't edit it. It was almost like they had taken a picture of it and put it in Word. So I wasn't able to edit it.
You've touched a great point. So first of all, PDF to Word and PDF to Excel are completely discrete technologies. Okay, PDF to Word is about design. It's about pixels, right? So you're basically trying to get the same document that you're looking at, just editable, right? So all the indents need to be in the same place. If you have bullet points, they need to come as bullet points and not as just drawings. Best way to think about it like a magazine cover. You have different fonts, different areas on the page, and you just want it editable. So you can click and change the text or whatnot. PDF to Excel is about data. We don't care about formats. We don't care about locations, right? You're not trying to get this. You're trying to get the final output that I just gave, right? Because if you had this originally in Excel, you would have had all those spaces and, extra data you can't really use. It's too much work.
Mm-hmm.
So PDF to Excel, PDF to Word, very different technologies, very different purposes also for the task that you're trying to achieve. Specifically, if you use an online converter, and generally, by the way, as a rule of, general advice, all the online converters don't upload sensitive documents to them, right? One of the kind of ironic advantages that our companies have, like companies like us have, is the fact that we are desktop software. You do not need to upload, payroll, socials, financials, medical information up to some cloud. So don't upload sensitive documents. But if you uploaded a PDF into an online converter and it sent you back basically a photo inside Word,
Right.
that means they didn't have OCR, which we're going to touch. So OCR is optical character recognition, is a general name for the set of technologies that allow you to read a picture and figure out, is this an 8 or is this a B, is this a 0 or is this an O, and so on.
So would OCR let you actually make changes once it's been converted?
Yes, so it's OCR when you convert something. It would, if the OCR was good, right, and that good is a big word. I mean, it's a big challenge in the industry. So that, there's so many things that can impact it, like the basic quality of your scan and whatnot. If the OCR was good, it would absolutely let you edit it, and we can see an example here, like the scan document, see how that is. And Seth also has one in his course, I believe, a sample of an OCR operation. So any PDF to Word that you're looking to use, if it is a scanned document originally, they have to have OCR for you to get an editable version of it.
Okay.
And by the way, if it was a native PDF, so a native PDF is just a machine-generated PDF, a PDF that was actually created, like you save as PDF from Microsoft Word or something. Best way to figure out if something is a native PDF, just open the PDF in Acrobat and try to highlight it. If you can actually highlight text, it's a native PDF. It's not a scanned one. If it's a native PDF, you upload it, and you still got a picture, then they're just, they don't have anything. They just try to rank for PDF to Word, get some free traffic, get some ad clicks, and it's not technology.
Okay.
They just created something, mishmash, a couple of hours.
I figure so it's free, it's probably too good to be true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of the free ones are great. We're actually going to introduce a free online converter very soon. And it's going to be great for the subset of documents that are so simple that you don't need all these, tools that I just used. Right? If it's really straight up, it's going to work great. But as soon as you have one type of complication like this one where the record is actually starting here at the top and not with the name, I mean, a computer just can't guess that. It's just impossible. For a computer, Oregon could be the name of the person. It has no context to what the data is.
Mm.
So this is why this category of software is human assisted, Yeah. So it's kind of like, think about it like Robocop. Okay, we're making you Robocop, but it's not going to do the work for you. You have to help it. Make sense?
Yes.
Any other questions somebody might have? So let's look at another one. Let's look at the scan one. Yeah, let's talk about scan. Let's look at the scan one. So when you open a scan PDF, if you have PDF2XL OCR or PDF2XL Enterprise, which are the only editions that we have that support that, it's going to tell you the document you're trying to extract is from a scan PDF, and a link to kind of explain what that is. And the document will be displayed in OCR mode. So I'm going to click OK. You're going to see a bunch of stuff run, and it's just going to try and guess, what the text is. So this is a great example. The reason I love this is, A, this document has two different layouts. If you can see from the thumbnail, pages 2, 3, 4 are very different than the first page. And this is also on the side. This is rotated. A computer cannot understand rotation. Okay? This is basically a photo, an image. It doesn't know if this is the right way to show it. Okay? So you have to help it. So that's why we have these tools to help you help the computer. So if you go to your view, or if you look at the top kind of line here, you'll see you have the zoom in, zoom out tools, and you also have rotations. So we can rotate the document right, this straight up clock size rotation. And once we rotate it, then this computer is going to make a much better guess as to what are these numbers. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to process this in a second. One of the things set that we've added in this version, this brand new version, is the ability to do fine rotations. And this is something that nobody has in our industry. We're very proud of this. This is very hard to develop. So if you have a document that's really slightly skewed, just a bit diagonal, we can adjust for that automatically. You don't need to do it. But if it's not, if it's just coming in, at a 45-degree angle, and we don't have a 45-degree rotation, you can actually just rotate it right into the left until you actually get perfect alignment, so the OCR can do its job and read the document correctly. So once you open a scan document, it's really the same thing. So this is a straight-up agent report. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this kind of document very well. Same deal. I'm just going to highlight the documents. Not going to be any different than what I did before. Adjusted a bit here to have the total also. And you instantly see the preview at the bottom. Okay, so you can see that, again, this document does not have any lines, right? We as humans, we can see the line. Our brain perceives the lines, but it does not have any lines. So it's going to do a best guess, and we're going to see how good of a guess is it in this case. In this case, the guess is great, right? It had every column in the right way, nothing to adjust. So let's talk about the different adjustments you do need to do when you have a scan document. Let's see the preview and see if everything is okay. So in this case, if I look here at the bottom, I can kind of quickly see the numbers and see if it missed anything, if it thinks that something is a 0 or no, and see what I need to do to adjust. Okay, here we go. Pacifica Engineering. If you look at the preview, you'll notice that it's actually not perceiving this as a 1. It's perceiving this as an I. Okay, and this is a very common OCR, right? If you really zoom in, right, because the computer needs to guess, you really zoom in, you'll see that all the numbers here are kind of broken, right? This is not a great quality scan. And when you look at this one, and you're like, oh, you know what, this actually might, can be an I. We humans, we see it's a number, we understand it's a number, we have the context, but there's actually a bit of a space here between the 1 and the 0 that you don't have between the 0 and the 6. And if you look at the top, you'll see it's a bit grainy. It could very well be an I, right? So it's a best guess effort. But we have a bunch of tools that help help the computer guess better. And we have a few of them. In this case, this is pretty straightforward. I'm going to show you what to do. Because we know this is an aging report, and all of these columns are currencies, are numbers. We can highlight all the columns, and I'm just clicking and dragging to the right. I'm going to right-click them, and I'm going to say the column format in the output. So when it gets to Excel, the column format should be currency. I could set it to a number if it was like an inventory, something like that, but it should be currency. And we have all these other types like date and image and so on. And I'm going to set the currency. the OCR is going to run again. It's going to tell me, oh, now that you told me this is currency, let me guess again. Okay? I'm going to click on yes. It's going to run it again. And then we're going to look at what it did. So now if we go back to Pacifica, we see that now it knows this is a 1. This is not an I, because we told it all the data you see in this column is a currency, is a number. You have no reason to guess why this could be a letter. That's the basic premise of assistive OCR. So we set the numbers. You also see that it added the dollar signs. If you look at the OCR options, and I'm not going to go through everything, this software has been in development for over 10 years. We have many, many features. But if you go to OCR options and the conversion options, you'll see that you can set different formats. So if in your document you want, the currencies to come with 4 zeros, or if the negative sign is to the right instead of the left, and you want negatives to come in red or another color, and so on, you can set everything here, and we give you full flexibility to reduce your post-processing time. Right? The entire objective is to reduce the amount of time you spend after you get it into Excel. With OCR, if you have a bad document, okay, something that's just not working, we have a couple of really, really great new features. So besides these ones that Seth touches in his videos, the threshold and the despeckle. Despeckling, by the way, so when I zoomed in and it was all these little dots, these are the specs. Okay, so despeckling is basically telling, we have a lot of specs, or we have very large specs. So you can kind of use these sliders and try to get a better result. But we have this new feature called Force DPI up to 1800, which is a lot. So basically says, if your scan is not great, and we just, this is mumbo jumbo that's coming in, go to OCR options, change to Force DPI, and just set it to 1200 or something big, and it's probably going to be tremendously better. Tremendously better. Right now, this feature sets us apart from all of our, prime competitors, not, the small ones. All of our top ones, we are the only ones that have this feature, and we are very proud of it. So once we set this table, I'm just going to hit convert so you can see how it is. I'm going to convert the document. I'm going to convert just to page 1. So this is kind of works like a printer, right? You just change the page range. Convert the document. So it's asking me to validate. Validation in OCR is a process. I'm just going to show you how it looks. It's basically saying, we have some words here that we're not really 100% sure that we got it right. So the computer is going to tell you the suspect word. In this case, it's just a hyphen. And it suggested, a hyphen. So I'm going to say, yeah, accept, this is good. And this thinks, it's 61 hyphen. Is this good or not? You can accept and so on. So in this case, I'm just going to skip because I know I'm looking at the preview and I see that everything is correct. I'm going to click done. But in some cases, you want to really make sure that everything is solid, so you do the validation. What I would do is try to play with the OCR options as much as I can and try to reduce my time here. So we converted the document. You see it's coming to Excel. You see the negative numbers are automatically coming in accounting format, right? So it's red and in brackets. And this did not exist in brackets. If we look at the original document, this was a negative sign. It was not in brackets. So again, back to Dennis's question, or the point that we're discussing, it's about the data. It's not about the pixels. It's not about converting a dash or a negative sign. It's about understanding, oh, this is a negative number. It should come to Excel as a negative number. Okay. So what's good about this is, and this is a very common use case for PDF2XL, somebody wants to do an audit, right? So they get a scan like this, and then they want to run all these numbers and make sure that the sum here at the bottom is actually worth the sum in the original document, right? So I can just highlight everything and see the sum is exactly what it is, or I can run formulas to do validation and so on. So this was a good example of a simple OCR operation. Now, another thing I want to show you here is this is a multi-layout document. So in this case, I know that the layout for the other documents is the same. The other pages is the same. So I'm just going to say the first page is different, and then you'll see on the left-hand side that now first page is A, and the other ones are marked in B. So I'm going to go here, and this has a different orientation. So this is actually a great example, right? It's just automatically capturing the same layout as it did earlier, and you see that the software is just, has no idea what this is, right? This is on its side. it has absolutely no idea what all these numbers are. It can't guess them. So we're going to rotate it back. And if we rotate this back, because it's in a different layout, it is not going to affect page 1. Okay, we're just going to affect pages 2, 3, and 4. So now we have a new document. It's running the OCR. And I'm going to create the layout for it. So I'm going to zoom out so it's easier for me. And drop the preview down here. And same deal. I'm just going to highlight everything. And we're going to validate it did a good job. So when you see that dark orange, this means it's a title line. It's just easier for you when it gets to Excel to have a nice title. So now I can see, I can check if it did the columns okay. It seemed to have done a pretty good job. Maybe I can get the name here closer. Amount, charge, balance. Okay, great. So same thing here. I can look at the preview and see how good of an OCR job it did. And I instantly see in this cell, cell 7, and you can see I'm highlighting in the preview and it goes to the PDF. It highlights in the PDF that it thinks it might be a D. Actually, it thinks it's O.OD. It's not even recognizing this as a number. Can look at the date, see if we have the same problem. Same thing here. We see II/7. We're not seeing 11. So same exact trick. I'm just going to highlight all of this. And I'm going to say, again, I know these are currencies, so I'm going to say the column format is a currency. I'm going to click on yes so the OCR can run again. And then I can go to date, and I can tell it the column format is date. Let the OCR run. Perfect. And that's it. And now I see that this was changed to a 0. And if, for your purposes, you want to capture the decimal points, you could just go to settings and tell it, give me 2 or 4 decimal points or whatever. But we're going to capture the value, so we're just kind of bringing it as 0. So same thing, I can see if we have any issues, go to the other pages, see that everything looks pretty good. I'm going to convert pages 2 to 4. And we can see we have a total of 61 rows on this document, 8 columns, convert. And that's it. And you see in this case, and I guess I missed this part with the accounts, but if I would have gone back and changed this to text, it would have come in. Oh, okay. So you see, because this accounts receivable is going into the date column, the software can't guess that, right? Because we basically told everything here is a date. It doesn't know that ABLE. It can't figure out what number that is. So these are the type of things that you will always have to modify, but it's not a big deal. So in this document, we have a lot of negatives, so it's much easier to see. And again, because it's a true negative, we can highlight everything. It's going to give us a proper sum and so on. And because this is a date, in Excel, I can also filter this by date. This is all the same month, but you can get, weeks, months, days, and so on. Any questions so far?
I have a couple questions. I have a previous version of your product. If I wanted to upgrade it, would I get a discount price or an upgrade price or something like that? Absolutely.
So generally, updates cost 50% of the license, but with the discount, that will give you guys, you get a pretty good discount on update. I would actually recommend you use it to get an annual maintenance, which is actually cheaper than a one-time update. Mm-hmm. Because then you get 12 months of unlimited support and unlimited updates, and it's not automatically renewable. So next year, if you decide, what, I'm good with the latest version that I have installed, you don't have to renew it. The software is going to continue working, and you get 1 year to see what kind of features we add and what kind of support you actually use.
Well, what I'm thinking is that I've got it on an older computer that's starting to flake out.
Yeah.
Would I be able to just transfer the license to my new computer and then get an update be put on that computer, or is that a simple process? Or
Great question. So when you buy, let's say you buy one license, you get one activation, but it's one activation in parallel. So if you just uninstall it from your old computer, it's going to reset, and then you can just install it on your new computer.
Okay.
The only limit is you can't install the same license if you only have one, the same access to the computer at the same time. But we do allow one personal and one work computer. So if you have like a laptop and a work computer, we do allow.
Well, if one person, they can't be using both computers at the same time. The other question I have is that what have been some of the changes since previous versions?
So which version do you have?
I bought it about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Ooh, 2 or 3 years ago, we have a lot. So everything is on the website. If you go to support and version history, you'll see a rundown of all the changes.
Okay.
The biggest changes are going to be in the OCR. The OCR has tremendous performance over the previous ones. We have, if you have PDF2XL Enterprise, we have this batch conversion, which didn't exist in the previous versions. We also now added a help tab, which is pretty cool. So we actually have this in-app chat. So if you guys ever need help with your trial or full version or whatever, in the app, you can click on this chat button and open this window here, click on Start Chat, and you'll get to somebody in our team instantly.
Okay.
Which is great. And from a performance perspective, we had changed a lot because we really rewrote a lot of the core. So without knowing the specific version you have, but if you're saying it's 2, 3 years ago, you probably have 5 something.
Yeah, something like that.
So we're about 4 or 5 version after that. So we had done quite a bit of changes.
Okay.
So this is just great samples of tables and scans. The last thing I want to show you, which is really cool, because we don't have a lot of time. Let's go over this one. So this is a purchase order statement. This is a hybrid document between a table and an unstructured one. So the table here at the bottom, you guys already understand kind of how to convert it. You just highlight it. And in this case, it's the same deal. So I'm going to choose the same deal like I showed you last time. So I'm going to use the quantity as the key column. So every time I have quantity, it's a new record. I go to table structure, create rows, column text, and then I see that the records are coming in correctly. But the cool thing that we can do that nobody else can do is fields. Okay, we can capture things that don't look like tables. So let's say you want to capture this PO number to come with the table, and you want to capture this PO date, and you want to capture the vendor number. You can just add these as fields. So fields are marked in blue, tables are marked in orange. You can see here the preview that they're coming in. And you can just right-click any field and say, show it with the table. And again, we have support in videos and all that, so you don't have to remember any of this. In the conversion, show field with table, and you'll see that it's adding the columns here. So now I can go to any column and say set field heading, so the title for it, and I'm going to say this is vendor number. And I'm going to right-click this column and say this is PO number. And I'm going to right-click this and say this is PO date. Now every single record you import is going to be added with these static pieces of data from the document. So think about it from an audit trail perspective. It's amazing because then you have more data that's coming in from any record you convert. And with that, we also have automated fields. So if you go to the Convert tab and go to predefined fields or auto fields, you can click on stuff like, give me the file name, give me the time I converted it, and give me the page it was converted from. So it's adding these 3 fields. You can just add it to the table. And I see the time of conversion is going to be whatever it is when we actually convert. The file name on my computer, and the page number. So if I go to the other pages, that's going to change. And this has, amazing value because you can use it on something just so you see how that comes in. Convert pages 2 to 4. You'll see here that I have the PO number, the date, the time of conversion. We actually, hit the convert button, the file name on the computer, and the page. This record came from page 2. This record came from page 3. This record came from page 4, and so on. With that feature, you can also convert stuff that don't look like table at all. So if I go to, let's see, the directory it is. Yeah, perfect. So this is a physician directory list, right? We have 71 pages. This doesn't look like a table, but if you'll notice, it has a fixed format. So I can just say field 1, call it a name. Field 2, call it specialty. And I can do this for the phone, for the address, for everything. And I can literally just copy paste. I can highlight fields like this, like you just mark them, and Control-C, Control-V like you would anywhere, and just move things around and have, oh, sorry, just a mouse here. Move things around. So once you create a single record, let's move to another screen. Sorry about that. Once you have a single record, you can highlight it on all of these and just have it in a single Excel spreadsheet. So this kind of document where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 physicians with all their doctors, and you want this in column A, this in column B, and so on. You can create the layout once. This is probably going to take a good 15 minutes to create all of this. 15 minutes is basically gonna create a lot of blues all over the document. And then it's going to convert, so you have 10 Excel records times 71, so 703 or 702 different records of physicians. And this is a very common thing you get from a conference, or your clients, can get this from any other kind. And again, this is very unique to us. No other software in the market can convert stuff that are unstructured like this, that don't look like tables. Yeah, I think we're pretty much out of time. Does anybody have any question?
We're getting there. Leah, just before everybody goes, I want to make sure you tell everybody how they can become affiliates if that is available.
Absolutely. If you go to our website, and the best way, email me directly. Okay? Email me at WN. I'm going to write it here so we can see it. WN at Cogniview. If you want to be an affiliate, we pay out 30% commissions. So if you send us a client and they're past the refund period, so we have a 30-day money-back guarantee no matter what, because you don't like the font. Doesn't matter. 30-day money back. Once they're past the refund period, then we provide you a check, PayPal, whatever it is, with 30% from the actual money we collected. So if somebody, bought with a discount, it's going to be 30% from the actual money that we receive. And we're happy to do this. We have plenty of affiliates. It's kind of perfect for somebody in your positions because you have so many small business clients, or just not business clients in general. And it's such a no-brainer tool if they have any kind of a paper-heavy operation, or, the first time they have one of these tasks, it's daunting. Retyping this and figuring out how to get it, it's annoying. So the $200 or $400, whatever, it's a no-brainer, especially if you train them how to do it. And, of course, I would recommend you consider just selling it as a service. What we do sometimes is when we do service projects, and we usually do kind of bigger ones, 4 digits and up, we basically do the conversion and provide a license, with the service job. So that's a really great way to sell, because you can buy the licenses yourself for 30% discount, and just provide both the conversion task, and you tell them, I'm giving you this $400 piece of software.
Yeah, I gave a whole talk at Sleater Conference about partner programs and how accountants were already going to be recommending these products to our clients. So you might as well participate in the affiliate programs for them, because that way you just get paid doing what you're already doing anyway. It's like Leah said, it's a no-brainer to do this. And you can go 2 routes. I'd say do both. Do the affiliate, so that for clients who want to use it themselves, great, and offer a service in terms of document conversion. This way you've got 2 angles based on one product for how you can generate revenue for your practice.
Absolutely. The only thing I want to touch on is we have a brand new certification program starting in January or early February. So we train you on the software and generally about data conversion, and you're going to get certified. And get a proper certification with it. With it, you get discounts and partner exclusive stuff, which is going to be really great. Besides that, we have a new website coming up, so we're going to open it up for content partnerships if any of you want to write things. And we have over 40,000 business customers. So if any of you want to write stuff that you think would be relevant for small businesses, we'd be happy to talk to you about guest posting. Our premium support, if you don't have it, I highly recommend you try it at least for 1 year, because it's incredible. I mean, our team is on it. They're professional. It allows you to do screen shares with us just like this. With premium support, if you have a problem and you need a walkthrough, we got on a screen share just like this. You send us a document, or we take control on your computer or however you want it, and we just show you what to do. We click the thing through. So you can send us PDF files. If you're not sure what to do, you can just send us the file. We'll send you back the layout. We have a layout creation service included with that, up to 10 layouts a year. So it really saves you time. And, if you have something that takes 30 minutes, you can just send it to us and we'll do that for you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So if you're offering that as a service, you can even, in effect, outsource the actual work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Up to 10 a year, we'll do it.
And if I wanted to do more than 10, can I just pay you for the extra, or?
Absolutely. And at that point, it's a case-by-case basis, because we have to figure out how much time. But it's kind of an hourly model. So we basically cover our cost of our technicians plus a bit of a markup, and that's it. It's not, our business is not layout creation, so it's really a service we do.
Right. So, and of course, if you're going to do this, you might as well learn how to do the layouts, because obviously it's to your benefit. Use the 10 for when you get into situations that are beyond the scope of what you know how to do up to that point. But it's obviously ideal as the accounting professional to learn how to do it yourself, because then you can offer the service and just do it and not have to wait or rely on somebody else. So.
Absolutely, yeah.
I have a question that might have already been answered, but because I missed the very first part of the thing. But are there a lot of the features that you demonstrated today that are only available in the enterprise version?
The enterprise version, the only things that are, no, there's nothing I showed here that's only available in the enterprise version. Batch conversion, which I didn't show, is only available in the enterprise version. The enterprise version is also the only one that can convert image files, so not scanned PDFs, but JPEGs, BMPs, and so on.
Okay.
But other than that, all the OCR stuff, all these advanced OCR stuff are also available in PDF2XL OCR. So you don't have to get enterprise. One thing that's amazing about enterprise that I just don't have this time to show is we give you a virtual printer. So you get a Cogniview printer on your computer. So if you have like a third-party piece of software that doesn't export into CSV or PDF, but it can print, you can print into PDF2XL and then convert it. Super useful for legacy systems, ERP systems, any kind of, big pieces of software that big businesses use. Or just from a browser. Let's say you're on a web page and you have something you want to convert to Excel from that web page, you can just print from the browser into PDF2XL, and that's a feature that only exists here.
Cool. So I also saw some chat talk that I missed about an discount code or something, promo code. I don't know, but I couldn't figure out where it was.
Yeah, well, I'll send it to Seth to send you, because this is recorded. I don't want to just, put it as an evergreen thing. But I'll send it to Seth, and he'll send you one to use.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Great. And by the way, there's great samples right on the Cogniview website that you can download to play with. I don't know if you mentioned that, Leora. If you did, sorry.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Good point. On the homepage, you have basic use cases that you can download PDF files to practice on. And we're completely revamping the website. So in January, hopefully, the new website will be up, and we have a brand new knowledge base, a full-on video course, over 25 videos. And generally, our support team is, if we do anything better than anybody else in our business, is support. So we're here for anything that we need, and it's not uncommon for me to just, for you to call and for me to answer. Listen, we have a flat organization, everybody helps everybody. Doesn't matter if you're the director of marketing, if you're the CEO, if you're just a support tech. Everybody sees every single thing that comes in, and if somebody can help, they help. That's it.
Yep. So it's great. I've used it. I had to use it when I was trying to learn the product myself, so I could do the course. And the support was great. The chat support was amazing. I got the help I needed right away. So
Yeah.
I have another question. Sorry, one more. Last question.
Mhm.
What you talked about premium support. How much does that cost? Or if you can't say it on the video, we can have Seth.
Yeah. No. So it depends on the product. Enterprise is $160 a year. OCR is $120, and Basic is $80. But if you have a promo code, the promo code applies to the premium support also.
Okay.
Yeah, it's but the first time you use it, you'll see that it's very, very cheap. And that's why I really like to tell customers, especially because when you buy with a promo code, and this is an end of year, so I'll probably give you probably our biggest promo we can give, then it's super cost efficient. Right?
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Great. Awesome.
All right, and just looking in the chat, Larry commented, thanks very much. So great. We should do another one again soon. We're going to do this every Friday, just like we have been. It's just kind of moving over to the Between Wall and Main brand.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everybody. If anybody has any questions or any wonderings, you also see here on the chat, we have Dana here, which also works for Cogniview.
Oh, hi, Dana. I was wondering who you were. I was looking you up in our group. I'm like, she's not in our group.
Hey, Seth, is this video going to be, where can we find the video of
I'm
this?
going to upload it to YouTube. So the Zoom is going to render an MP4 for me, and then I'm just going to throw it up on YouTube. If I really get motivated, I might even actually slap an intro on it or something.
Is there was it a main and wall or wall and main YouTube channel?
We haven't set that up yet, so it's just going to go up on Nerd Enterprise's YouTube channel for now, and eventually we'll probably get all that set up. Stacy and I are still kind of working out all those details and how we want to do things. So
Okay, well.
So I'll, of course, post in the Facebook group once it's up.
Okay, great.
Great. Thank you very much, everybody.
Lear, thank you so much.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll see you all. Well, and don't forget, Gina's got her hangout later on today. I think 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern, and we will see you obviously throughout the week online on the Facebook group Between Wall and Main, and stay tuned for hopefully more new and exciting news and information as we kind of start rolling out some of the new plans that we're making.
Okay. See you next week.
All right, we'll see you next week.